Hi, I'm Professor Carrie O'Dell. I am an instructional specialist with the Department of Writing Studies here at Montclair State. I'm also the co-chair of the Live Literature Committee. Live Literature is Montclair State's live reading series, and that's what I'm here today to talk about. My co-chair, Professor Claudia Cortese, and I program anywhere from 12 to 15 events each year, and these serve up to 3,000 students annually. It's required that all first-year writing students in college writing, too, attend a live lit or an approved alternative. For many students, it's the first time they've attended a literary reading, and we hear time and again how surprised they are that they actually liked the event. Many students are taught to see literature as an art form that only exists in the dusty pages of a textbook and belongs to some faraway time. When they attend Live Lit, they see that many living writers are not that different from themselves. When booking artists and performers, we prioritize featuring people of color, LGBTQ+ folks, women and femmes, people with disabilities, and those from working class backgrounds to try to give a better scope of what's representative of the Montclair State University community, not just what we think of as the literary canon. We want students to hear stories and see art that reflects their lives and experiences, as well as to engage with lives and stories that are markedly different from their own. So a little bit about the history of live literature. Live literature was started around 2009 by Dr. Emily Isaacs, who was then the chair of first-year writing. The program was an exciting opportunity. Students were able to hear faculty read creative work in the genres they were reading in class. When I started work here as an adjunct in the first-year writing program, I was personally really excited to hear about the program, and I volunteered to share my work. At that time, live literature only had a few events a year. Like even in the spring, when the bulk of first-year writing classes were Writing 106, the second semester sequence when live literature is required, there were only 4 or 5 events, and students were expected to work live literature into their schedule on their own and provide their instructors with some proof they'd attended an event. Of course, most students waited until late March or April to fulfill the requirement, so the readings before spring break were sparsely attended, while those at the end of the semester were jam-packed fire hazards. Most instructors did not have many resources to help incorporate live lit into writing and discussion in the classroom. So out of necessity, it started to evolve. In fall of 2013, the program started a restructuring of the current committee is continuing today. Classes were assigned specific live lit events to attend, and instructors were provided with writing samples to use in the classroom. The live literature calendar was compressed into a shorter span of time, making it easier for instructors to adjust teaching prep across multiple sections. Readers were no longer only Montclair State faculty members, as they were in the beginning, but respected regional writers and artists as well. Instructors for hybrid and online classes built a database of online resources to keep pace with the demands of students' schedules. In fall 2015, we launched the Salon series as a partnership with arts and cultural programming that featured live literature readings that celebrated the themes of works presented as part of peak performances and College of the Arts productions. In fall 2016, we started partnering with the Segal Gallery as well. By spring 2017, the bulk of our events were held in either the Kasser Lobby or the Segal Gallery. We also started offering Facebook Live broadcasts of events. Many instructors also encouraged students to take advantage of Montclair State's many cultural offerings, such as the Peak Performance Series, programming the College of the Arts, exhibitions in the Segal Gallery, and work by student groups like Speaking Through Silence or the MSU Players as a means of fulfilling the live literature requirement. In the 10 years it's been part of the first-year writing curriculum at Montclair State, live literature has grown and matured as a program. We want to continue that growth by engaging more interdisciplinary resources and providing instructors with curricular tools to truly engage live literature and other live readings and performances in the first-year writing classroom. We are also seeking funding to offer our readings honorariums. This will allow us to recruit even more writers, book our seasons earlier, and offer workshops in addition to readings. So why is a program like live literature so important to a well-rounded liberal arts education? Live literature not only allows students to interact with working writers, it also engages the benefits of both literary study and viewing of live performance. In recent years, much has been made of a study conducted by social psychologists from the New School for Social Research. This study indicated that reading literary fiction could enhance social skills. Participants who read literary fiction in preparation for the study performed better on tests, measuring emotional intelligence and social perception than participants who read popular fiction or nonfiction. Engagement with literature has the potential to evoke feelings of empathy in readers. New York Times columnist Pam Belloc makes the point that the skills that literature seems to foster, quote, come in especially handy when you're trying to read someone's body language or gauge what they might be thinking. In other words, skills vital for workplace survival in any field. Wheaton College sociology professor John Grady supports this idea of the cross-disciplinary importance of literature in a letter to the New York Times when he writes, in 45 years of teaching, he's, quote, noticed and often noted to my colleagues that by far the best indicator of future success in sociology is whether a student reads good literature for pleasure, usually Flaubert, Dickens, or of course Austen, for starters. When we think about engaging with literature, we often think about reading it. But what if we also consider the importance of live performance and real-time interaction with writers? A 2014 study by the University of Arkansas Department of Education Reform found that, quote, field trips to live theater enhance literary knowledge, tolerance, and empathy among students. And what if we require literary engagement and live performance not simply as the province of English majors and performing arts students, but as a means of building empathy, social perception, and emotional intelligence in students regardless of their field of study? What if students have the opportunity to not only read literary work, but also discuss it with its creators? Evidence suggests that a campus community that encourages literary engagement and attendance at live performance events privileges a culture of empathy and social intelligence, qualities sorely needed for students to succeed in both work and in life. I could tell you more, but instead I've prepared a video that features photographs from live literature events and feedback from students in my own classes.
Writing isn't just the process of writing words on a piece of paper, nor is it just the fancy fonts on a book. It's an art and can be expressed in many ways. The purpose of our own writing is to express our feelings through words. Same for books. Their purpose is for us to imagine the writer's feelings with the way we will interpret it. So what about live literature, such as poetry slams, open mics, and spoken word? They may not be what everyone would classify to be literature, but more of a performance. Yet, it is equally literature as a book written by Shakespeare because it evokes emotion. If anything, live literature is a more accurate sense of literature because it is something the audience can hear to understand better, as well as appreciate. On Thursday, April 20th, I went to the L. Howard Fox Theater to see the Department of Theater and Dance perform their version of Simon Stevens' punk rock performance. I found the performance to be outstanding. I was not too sure what to expect, considering that I had never been to a live show here at Montclair. Walking out of the theater, I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed the performance, along with how well it was put together. I can confidently say that I came close to tears listening to both of Ken's short stories, and that is what I expected the least attending this public lit reading. I found the live lit readings to be very useful and enjoyable. The idea of being able to step up to a podium and read literature for others to hear is my definition of a good time. I'm going to be honest with you, I am not a fan of poetry, but wow, was I blown away by the work that the two did. I think that by the event being open to whatever they wanted to talk about made the event even better. It honestly made me feel some type of way, and when I say that, I mean that it kind of made me emotional. Poetry is music. If rap songs were to be broken down slowly, I think of it as poetry. They have meaning and such a strong message behind it. The thought of modernization brings me back to Sontag's essay about interpretation. I thought that Doug Elkin's dance project was based on modern society. It seemed relevant to the type of thing that happens today. It shows that humans haven't changed. We're still doing the same things we've been doing since humanity first set foot on Earth, but the ugliness of the situation was made beautiful in dance. Throughout the entire performance, I wanted to get up and dance. Overall, I really enjoyed the slam poem session. I was happy to know that Montclair has groups like this. Listening to all of these young writers and their struggles is very inspiring for anyone who enjoys writing. It's kind of like how to get better at art, you study other artists' styles. The same is done to become a better writer. On the 25th of April, I had the opportunity to watch my first peak performance in the Alexander Kasser Theater. And let me tell you, A+ quality of music. I really enjoyed it. And I am interested next semester to go see another performance. I really enjoyed the fact that the performance started on time. Even though the play took place on a stage, I felt as if I was experiencing the devastating series of events. I found myself deeply engaged and on the edge of my seat throughout the play. When I heard it in person read aloud, I observed a different aspect to it that I was unable to do through reading the text. The tone in her voice combined with the style of writing brought about a deeper perspective. Listening to authors read their work is overall a great experience because it allows the audience to ask questions and gain context. Before going to live literature and just reading the readings on my own, I didn't realize all of the underlying meaning, allusions, and the reasons behind these works of fiction. Experiencing live literature made me excited about reading and being a storyteller.